Yeah, it's welcome back to Footy and Friends. My goodness gracious me. Brettles, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, terrific.
Jeez, he's looking good today. He's got the Ralph Theron, he's got the tight pants
Rolex?
on, and he's got the Rolex.
No, I don't have a Rolex.
Oh, it's a Tissot, sorry.
No, it's not actually. It was
Who
a
played?
gift from Oakley for winning a best and fairest.
Yeah. Just had to throw that one in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got two of these sort of watches, from two best and fairest. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
I got a TV once for being best on ground on a Saturday night.
I got a watch for the best clubman in Carlton. I lost it.
Yeah.
It
What
was
sort was it?
engraved. It was a Tissot. It was nice. It was actually really nice. Yeah.
I got a Tissot as well, actually.
Yeah, no, we know that. We've heard that story. Boys, how are we?
Good.
We well?
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks.
Bloody oath it has. It was an exciting...
Too long.
It is too long. Everything got done yesterday. That's why the pod's been pushed back, ladies and gentlemen, to today, so that we can review everything that's happened in the trade period, and also we've got a bonus episode coming out this week too.
It's taken us all year, right, to put the podcast in the right time slot of the week.
Yeah.
So we're kind of up to date.
Yes. This one's not prefabricated.
Fabricated.
Prefabricated.
That's the one.
Yeah.
We're on task and we're ready to go because, as we said, there's a lot to get through today, which we are.
And you've done your
pumped.
homework.
I actually have. I spent a whole day yesterday, embarrassingly. I spent a whole day yesterday
On the most important topic.
Yeah.
on the most important.
Trades going through, players moving clubs, what's the draft capital look like, but...
I've gone through every single club.
Yep.
The players going in and the numbers available for them to take next year.
How important is that?
Mate, I've actually, embarrassingly, even contacted 3 players that have headed to new clubs. And I've actually started something
Have you got
that I
any-
don't even know that I should speak
replies?
about. I've got 3 contacts and 3 replies.
Yeah.
Now, albeit 2 of them are friends. So Isaac Cumming and James Peatling.
Yeah.
I went straight to Pete's last night and said, look, congratulations. This is my recommendation to you. This is what's available. This is my recommendation. Hey,
Kick it off with what he should be wearing.
well, no, because I think that
it's a segment
Brett's
for
already
itself.
losing interest. So I'm going to save that for the next episode.
Okay.
I'm
Is
going to
Brett in on
save
the
it.
next episode?
Yeah, we're going to do, I don't know. I was opening it up for you, mate, because I know you don't want to talk about that.
What?
So I've actually split that out into another rep today.
Oh, you split the picks?
No, I'm gonna go through the trade period today with us 3.
Yeah.
And then I've spoken to Mick. He's keen to stay on, but I didn't want to upset Brett today. So you can stay in or you can leave. You don't have to be in the next one. What do you think?
No, I'll stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we just.
He's just checked the joint calendar. Katie's
Yeah.
put in some lunches.
Yeah.
He needs the dollars.
Okay, good. All right, fantastic. Hey, boys, before we get into this week's episode, a bit of a shout out to our friends at the Tee It Up podcast as well. They're doing a charity golf day on the 4th of November. It's a 3-person Ambrose event. So there'll be
3.
Yeah, 3. 2 teams of 3 on a hole. So there'll be actually 6, but it's like us 3 could play against another group of 3.
Right.
In one hole.
In one hole. We should do this. We should do this.
is gonna be one of those
You should get
things
Nahas, Clayton Hinkley, and I'll bring Christian Jacksh as a 3, and then us 3 go against those. How about that?
I'm not sure Nahas is a golfer. He doesn't need
You
the
don't
club.
have to be to play
No.
golf, mate. We could go and do this. It's
What
because
a threesome that is.
that is a good threesome. It's a
Run through
threesome.
the names again.
That's a threesome.
Robin Nahas.
Robin Nahas,
Clayton
Christian
Hinkley.
Jacksh, and Clayton Hinkley. Be a great threesome. It's a threesome though to raise money for Movember, which something we're all very passionate about. And
Yep.
very good. There's over 10k prizes to be won. It's at Sanctuary Lakes Golf Course because the Teed Up boys are from Geelong, Melbourne conglomerate
halfway,
coming too.
geographically.
Werribee, Jimmy will be there.
The Sanctuary Lakes, I worked on the greens there when I was playing at Werribee way back when I started.
Geez, they're
in the
good.
VFL.
Great greens.
They got better after I left because I wasn't very good at it.
Well, it's a great course. We'll put the link in the show notes. It's on the 4th of November. We'll be there. I don't know about you two, but I will be.
What date is it? Sorry, say
The
again.
4th.
Of November.
It's a Monday before Cup.
Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm in Hawaii, but I'll come back early for it.
Okay, good. Head to the Teed Up Instagram or this link in the show notes. I've chucked it in the show notes. Get along with your mates. Have some fun. Raise some good money and have a hit. Anyway, moving on. We had the review. We had the live show at the London.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you enjoy
good
that?
turnout.
It was a great
You-
turnout.
I noticed that I got stitched up with some questions, but I went and saw the bloke and said, mate, I'm sure I didn't just burn you at a family day all those years ago. He goes, nah, Dyl told me to say it.
It was a very
You jerk.
He thought on his feet though.
Yeah, he did.
As well because we'd sort of rehearsed. A guy came up and said, look, get into Brett and I'll give you a prize. And he did that, but he said something very fun. I can't actually remember exactly what he said. What was it?
He said, the statement of never meet your heroes is never truer than today. And I had that when I was a young bloke. And
Yes.
I was come up to you and you ran off on me when I was trying to get a
But
signature.
did he double down? He said something else after it. It was even funnier. I can't remember. Anyway, good
I
chat.
think he just gave the context that Brett said, like pretty much champed him.
Yeah.
No, sorry, champ, I got to get in and do some weights.
Yes, that was it. Hey, on a serious note as well, sending our love to Richmond head recruiter Chris Toche.
Head recruiter, yeah. He just come across from St Kilda, just started at Richmond, and one of the good guys out there in the recruiting team. And I know a lot of the fellow recruiters are filled with sadness at the moment because he was one of the good guys, and will be missed, absolutely.
Yeah.
They would spend a lot of time together, those recruiters, on weekends.
Bloody
You
oath.
see them on
this
their
time
deck
of year,
chairs all around the outsides of the grounds, and it's a tight little community, and you just feel for not just the recruiters but his family.
His family, 100%.
Yeah, that's where our love goes.
Hey boys, guess what? I feel like I'm in flow state.
Yeah.
Like I've got some cool shit. Hey, Mac's here today, by the way.
Mac. Oh,
Get fucking
Gate?
Yeah. How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm good, yeah.
You were good at the live show, wasn't he?
he was great roaming.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Would've been
He
fucked
yawned a
without
couple
him,
of
I
times
reckon.
and you were telling shit stories and gave us plenty. I loved it.
To be
Yeah,
honest, I think the live show, the votes would have gone. Yeah, it was hard to split Nahas and Mac,
Yeah.
and the
me.
guy that was paying out Brett, and man, you were down the bottom.
Yeah.
I need to stop drinking at these live shows. I was feeling amazing.
You in flow state?
Oh, yeah. Mate, I didn't end up leaving the London Tavern till like 11:30.
You got to stay around, mate, with the community.
Yeah, no, but I was
Did you have
like,
a beer with a few of the boys?
yeah, a few of the boys were out, a beer with them, but it ended up like most of the live show was gone, and I was just still there, just with a few of my mates, and I was just smashing the beers back.
Good on the Mac, man.
It was unreal.
He's turning into a good character, isn't he?
He has. And my
He's-
favourite part was when he was roaming. And there's a fair crowd there, so
Yeah.
kudos to the what you've put together there,
No,
Dyl.
it's us.
And us, I suppose. But
No iron team.
he really cornered himself into one pocket. Have anyone else got any questions? And he'd turn just a pocket of like three people.
Yeah.
Where he could have opened his hips
Yeah. 10
to the fat side.
When
10
you
to
said
2.
to me, you're like, Mac, you got to get moving out of that corner, I was thinking it as I asked him the question. I'm like, fuck, I've been here for a while.
Yeah, you got to start switching. You got to
I
switch.
know, I need to get moving.
Yeah,
guys.
just swivel your head, see what's
I was
around.
just trying to give everyone an answer, but I need to break a few hearts and get going dinner.
Yeah,
Good.
mate, it was a
Well
good
done.
first start. Moving on. I've got something that I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
Now, just, Brett, I'm looking at you when I say this. Just
Bear with me.
bear with me and just let me get this out.
Okay.
You know, the English language is a hard thing for me to sometimes talk
It is.
about.
Yeah.
And just pretend this is not my idea. Pretend this is fucking Richo's idea, okay? Pretend it's Richo's idea. You're in there at Punt Road and
This would be brilliant.
Richo's come up with this idea.
This would be a great
Okay.
idea. Can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, Richo. That's great. All right. This trade period, Liam Baker, Dan Houston, Matt Owies, Peatling and Daniel left their clubs.
Yes.
What do those players have in common?
So the names again?
Liam Baker, Dan Houston, Matt Owies, Peatling and Caleb
Rookies.
Daniel. They're all rookies.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was going to say something about height. I reckon they were all pretty small, but
Okay.
Houston's.
yeah, Houston was
a
the
good
outlier.
size. Liam Baker and Dan Houston is probably where this argument comes to. But the other one still, I find, could be relevant. So I feel there should be a compensation for having a club trading a rookie player that they've invested their time into.
Yeah.
It's like buying a house in a shit suburb. There's some
Go-
no, I won't name any. I won't name
Go
any.
for it.
But you go there because no one else wants to go there. You invest your time and energy into it, and then in 5 to 10 years' time, you should reap the rewards of the investment that's made in that for taking the risk and putting your balls on the line. So the way I propose this is a financial gain from a pool of money that the AFL goes on top of a soft cap. So, for example, they could spend that on extra coaches or whatever else they want to do.
Yep.
So
Long lunches.
long lunches. So just say Liam Baker and Dan Houston, they leave. They've been rookie players at their clubs. The club then gets paid by the AFL out of a new fund that's something similar to like a free agency compensation on their new contract at the new club. And the accompanying club gets the money back. So, for example, they could get $100,000 back to Port and to Richmond for getting those players, investing their time into them, making them A-graders, and then it goes onto their soft cap to spend on other stuff. Owies and Peatling could be around 50 grand. Like Peatling was a New South Wales academy pick, Owies with a fucking basketballer, and now they've been tried to do other places.
Was Daniel a rookie or not? Or was he just a late
Daniel
pick?
was a rookie. Oh, he might have been like really low. But
pick.
it can
I think
be any compensation. Could be 5 grand. I think this would,
tiered compensation.
I think this would promote more movement of all players, and it wouldn't just be list management now. Okay, it wouldn't just be like how can we build the best list. It would also be about how can we build the best business for a club and exposing the clubs for shit picks and shit development of players because they'd actually have less money to then work with in the future.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't mind the concept. I think you should be rewarding that recruiter that found those little gems. You know, maybe
he gets a bonus.
Maybe
though.
he
They
gets
get
a bonus.
bonuses.
Yeah, and that's where, like with the soft cap, where you're talking about, that's where your recruiters and that all come from. But I suppose, I don't mind it.
So, example, just another one.
Richo's come up with a pretty good idea.
Yeah, Richo's good with that.
Yeah.
He is good with that.
Was it you or
I
Richo?
think he came up with it on Friday knockoffs, by the way. He Friday knocked off my idea. You even think about it with Tim Kelly, for example, when no one wanted him for years. Geelong picked him up.
Yeah.
They made him an A grader.
Yeah.
Then went off to West Coast. They don't get financially rewarded for taking that pick and taking a punt on that player.
Yeah.
To eventually become, what was a massive trade at the time to then go to West Coast.
Yeah.
But they do get what they do get is
They get compensation.
They get the pats on the back. But
they get the year or two of Tim Kelly playing on whatever the wage is versus what he actually is worth.
Yeah.
So they get the reward in that.
Even back to the point though around like imagine all these, not to bring it up, but like Melbourne years ago, right? They had like that many top 10 picks that just turned out to be no good. And it's like nothing happened from that. And it's like don't punish the clubs, but also pump up the good ones for having a ripping picks and putting their development. It's like a whole of club like mission here. You've got the recruiters doing a great job, but then they hand over to the development staff and the fundamentals of those football clubs to then actually be able to make those players into good players. Then it's a business in the sense of, look, we've done that. We've put in the hard yards.
We get some money out of
now
it.
we can trade them off and get some money back in.
If they're good players, though, I mean, what do you want to reward here? Do you want to build them up to sell them, or do you want to build them up to keep them?
Well, I think it adds maybe a second
They
or third layer to
Yeah.
the incentive for the club.
Yeah, but they do get incentivized. Like if they're a good player like Houston, who's gone and left, even though he was a rookie, they get rewarded back with picks and the players that they've got in as well. Like it's
But those picks, and we'll talk about this today, they're not guaranteed to be very good players. And we'll go through that, like in the draft.
but that's why you can't
The
judge
odds
it
are,
now.
for
You got to judge it in
probabilities.
time.
But this is something that, again, it would be dependent. It's more on, so Houston versus a Connor Rosie leaving, right? He was a top 5 pick, and he leaves. You'd get the picks for him, but you wouldn't get any money. This is a different pool
Well, what did
of promoting.
North Melbourne get for Horn Francis leaving? Pick 10 and 20 or something, was it?
Yeah, but they wouldn't have got. I'm saying he's picked to be a good player for a long time.
But Chad
which he would
Wingard
be.
left Port Adelaide and they get Butters and Rosie out of it, which is turned out to be bloody good for them,
It
hasn't
has.
it?
No, definitely. I agree with what you're saying. I think it's actually. I think this could just be something that adds to.
No, I get it.
The business of AFL, and clubs could get. The way we're heading with list, the draft profile and list management now, and how in depth it is. Imagine if a Geelong or a club that maybe. Were really good at developing players, not as good at drafting it. This is a way for them to actually invest more money into their football club, get better players in, get better coaches. I like it.
Not a great example being Geelong because I think they do both pretty well.
They do, yeah. Actually,
but-
we'll look at this today. They have missed so many as well along the way.
They've been ballsy. I think you should take that to Dils and just say, mate, just got this idea. All you guys on the exec, give up a couple of hundred, and someone
There's
leaves.
a bit of money to get. There's a bit of money to get around. There's enough money to get around.
See how it
mate.
goes.
Oh, they keep fining.
Yeah,
people
There's enough
for
money to
everything.
get
See
around.
how it
Don't worry
goes.
about that. Don't worry about that.
Just you shampooed and conditioned?
It looks freshly
Does
fluffed.
it look fluff, does it?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go walk back through the 6 and 2.
I think you do.
Yeah. Bit of
Pop
tennis
over.
ball.
I'll do it for free.
You reckon it's got a bit of static like the tennis ball sort of
Yeah,
sticks?
it's into the 5th match before they change the balls.
New balls.
You know what? My two of my two of my roommates got an 8 and 2. Both of them, they came home the other day and they've just got.
That's
not,
two. That's like a. That's
I don't
like
know,
what
it's
that
like,
is now.
It's like not committing to the buzz cut.
Yeah.
But getting a
Are
buzz cut.
they kind of full up there? Are they pretty
They
full
were.
or are they going back?
No, well, they had like long hair, like my hair.
Yeah.
and then they just came home with 8s on the top and then little 2s on the side.
Nice.
I
Can
don't
you get a
mind that.
photo of us?
I might go and get
a
a.
find one, but
I might have
Maybe
to go
you should
get
run
one
that.
today.
nah, my forehead's too big. I
And
can't get a
that
bus.
doesn't seem to doesn't matter if you've got a big forehead.
I've got it covered
People
pretty
actually,
well.
actually,
And he's
people are
starting to
into
become recognisable, he reckons.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want
With
to
his-
change the...
Yeah, the
Yeah.
look.
Yeah,
The bum
that's
part.
it's a signature look. It's
Yeah,
like the
that-
Baz Lenka, like mullet. Max got the sort of whatever that is with the.
I hit up Scotty about Baz Lenka today after that video
Yes.
that he reposted. Obviously, Baz, when he's doing his recovery, he's all boxing. I said,
Yeah.
you'd be fully bricked right now, wouldn't you? Big
Yeah.
Geelong sport. He goes, mate, nothing surer.
He's committed to his recovery.
He loves
Big
it.
Baz.
Yeah, Baz was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cold
No,
water
he's-
doesn't seem to matter to him.
No. All right, moving on. Let's get into the trade period, what
Yep.
we liked, what we didn't. Do you want to go reverse, like most recent to last, or you want to work sort of in time?
Your show, mate. You run it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Mate,
And
let's
you
go
put
through
a lot of effort into this show, and you've started pretty well.
Thank
so
you.
let's keep this
And
rolling.
guys,
momentum.
just a big thing to come. There will be another episode where we deep dive into the numbers.
Oh,
That's
okay.
coming. Like, we're going to release them at the same time.
Yep.
And they're both going to be on YouTube, straight out. Go and watch them,
So-
comment, let us know what you think.
And we're doing them back-to-back, so we'll be wearing the same clothes.
We will be.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, just-
No, we will
just-
be.
Don't,
And just to
don't just
confirm,
email into mixed
three
mate.
players I've contacted, and I'm about to message a few more about this. Let me just give you a heads up. I'm in contacts with Isaac Cumming. I already know
Cheese.
what he's potentially doing. James Peatling, I gave him my recommendation. And I've also never spoken to Ollie Dempsey before from Geelong.
But he's changing numbers.
Until about an hour ago. And we are now about 30 replies into what we think will happen next
And
year
I'm
about
gonna be
him. And I've sort of fucking rattled him a little bit, to be honest. He wasn't thinking about it because he was nearly going to change into the 7 last year, but then Sean Manor came.
Yeah. You're just going to go to the 2, Dempsey.
Well, I can't say too much. Which is, it's actually... Anyway, I'm not going to say anymore.
TWO much?
But no. Anyway,
There's
moving
also
on.
another number that's free down there.
3.
Thanks.
Okay. Moving on, we'll get into that next episode. Jake Stringer joins...
Really set that one up well.
Jake, I was like, 3! I don't joke when it comes to numbers, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
sweet.
pretty fucking
Anyway, let's
into it.
Yeah, next episode.
What do you think of the package arriving at
See what
Homebush
you did there?
Yeah.
in the mail?
I'm not. I don't know. He'll kick goals. I hope that King is just really hard on him and just says, mate, you need to get super fit. And if we see a super fit Jake Stringer, we'll see a better player. Still a good player, very talented, but please.
The main discussion around him going there is it's actually a club that's got a lot of players like him, yeah, and it's not much of a point of difference at the Giants with him being there with Toby and Hogan and
Cadman, Jake Riccardi.
Cadman, Jake Riccardi.
If I'm Jake Riccardi and I wasn't playing
I'll
late,
tell you what he's doing. He's going to the wing. I guarantee you.
because he can run.
No fucking way.
He's going to the
Don't
wing.
Shove that up.
Isaac
No.
Cummings gone.
Riccardi
Riccardi's
the wing.
he's a Richo winger.
He's
There you
not.
go, I've called
It doesn't work. It never works.
He's going to go to the wing.
It never works.
Finn
Maybe in the
Callahan
knee full.
inside, Chuck Kelly inside. Yeah, I can see it working.
Because
Riccardi
Perryman
will not.
played
He's
a
a
bit-
forward.
I know
He's
he
not
is.
going to play wing, mate.
He's
Well, he's
going
not
to
going to
the
play then because
Yeah.
they've brought in Jake Stringer.
I love Riccardi, but I'm telling you now, he's not a wingman.
So he's
You
going to play in the
can't-
VFL in the forward line.
Probably.
If I was the Lions, I would have been asking the question.
100%. He probably should have left. Like, that is... He's not playing wing. Give me the red hot tip. There's no
So-
fucking chance.
Round one. Jake
I just
Riccardi on the wing.
Mate,
if
there's
he
every year there's a forward that can't get a kick and they go, oh, I'll go play wing. It doesn't work.
So do you
Doesn't
think
work.
it'd be Jake? Do you reckon Jake would be considering going to play? Jake Riccardi, we're talking about here. He'd be hell bent on, no, I'm a forward and playing forward.
I think that...
And not to say I should disclaim.
Yeah.
I still think he's an even money shot to be able to
That's what I mean.
solidify his spot
Yeah.
ahead of Jake Stringer
100%.
if it doesn't kind of go the way that Jake Stringer would hope either. But secondary positions, Riccardi has a fair bit more flexibility than what Jake
So you're
is.
saying Jake Stringer on the wing.
No, I'm actually not saying Jake
Yeah,
Stringer
okay.
on the ring. I'm saying Riccardi actually has probably 2 or 3 different ways into the side, whereas Stringer's, he is pretty much what he is.
I think Riccardi, sometimes, and you boys know this better than anyone, the season is a long journey. Injuries, form, someone comes in, you think, oh, fuck, Jake Stringer's come in, I'll never play again. 2 weeks later you're in and you have the best year of your life.
Mate, Sam Frost is a perfect
that's what I
example
mean,
of that.
like-
They didn't think he'd play, then plays all year because James Blank does his knee, in the weeks just before round 1.
Exactly.
And now they're building a backline around him, around Frosty.
There you go.
Like they're bringing him in.
So
to
you know
support
what?
him.
It could be a career best year for Riccardi. This is sometimes what you need to be
On
like,
the wing.
fuck yeah. All Australian winger. There we go. He's yeah, good on him. Good on him. So he's playing wing. The Baz Lankard to Geelong, Matt Kennedy to Bulldogs.
That surprised me a little bit, the Matt Kennedy to the Dogs. That come from nowhere.
Well, it came about
That-
15 minutes after the deadline had finished as well.
Really?
I was watching the
came
show,
along.
and it was like the bell had rung, the clock had counted down.
But that's
Yeah.
just the paperwork. Like,
Yeah,
it
okay.
would have been submitted,
Yeah.
but because I remember when I got traded, it was the same thing. I had Blair Hartley on the phone saying, mate, don't worry, it's going to get done. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at the thing saying, wait, that's 1 o'clock, because it was 1 o'clock,
Yeah, it
I
was-
reckon, back then. Stressing out. He said, don't worry, mate, it's all in, all got done.
Yeah.
But and the
McRae
other one
Saints,
was,
by the way,
yeah.
in a part of that.
We thought, do you want to talk about the Dogs? I think the Dogs.
Do you like that or no?
Well, I think the Dogs, and I don't really have all that. We don't have. You have the numbers and all that.
Yeah.
The machinations in front of you. Not the numbers in terms of playing numbers, but the
okay,
draft pick
I don't
numbers.
care about that.
Yeah. I think the Dogs they're pretty is circumspect the right word, Brett?
Circumspect?
They're pretty.
Circumcision. No, sorry.
No.
No, it's not
They're
the
pretty
one.
circumcisioned.
Yeah.
In the way they'd be like, oh, we're going to lose McRae.
Yeah.
So let's get Kennedy.
Yeah.
And there's a bit.
Bit of like for like
Yeah,
there.
a bit of like. And
I
actually,
feel like-
and I want
More goals
and
for
Matt,
though from
Matt
Matt
Kennedy
Kennedy.
can actually play
Forward.
And wing.
No, he can't play on the
Nah.
wing.
Oh, no, I know.
Bam's not a wingman.
I just feel like Bulldogs go for a similar player every year. Like they go Matt Kennedy, James Harms, Oscar Baker. There's another one there that was playing at Melbourne, then went to Bulldogs. Can't remember his name. But like they just sort of get these like second or out of the team midfielders and then bring them back in a bit.
Like to
Like,
have the depth. And McRae became a depth player, didn't he? And Caleb
Yeah.
Daniel became
Yeah.
a depth player. And so I think
I'm
they
interested.
would be looking at what they're losing, and they're kind of in and around the mark.
I don't think the Dog supporters would be wrapped with the trade period though. I don't think so.
Well, they've known about Bailey Smith for a long time.
No.
And they've lost 2 guys that weren't in their best 22.
So what did they get for Bailey Smith in the end?
17.
And another one? I thought they got another one.
45 or something like that.
Did they get 40,
Yeah, Bailey
48
Smith.
back?
Oh, no, sorry.
Did they
Yeah.
get 48 back, maybe,
They get
from Geelong? Or was it 35?
I mean, like the Bailey Smith thing next year is
they got 17 and Matt Kennedy
is
because the other one
fascinating
went to
with what
Saints.
he. And it's not all about what he will be next year. Like he's going to have a long career at Geelong, but there'll be a big watch on how he goes next year.
Yeah.
And he could act like he could.
Could he be Will Ashcroft when he came back?
Well, he could, yeah, bloody oath. Like
He's got the tools
and
to
he's
be
going
able
to play
to do
inside
it.
mid, isn't he? That's the guy.
That's what he wanted to play, I
Yeah.
think, and he was forced to play more.
That's actually where
wing.
Geelong have the gap in there.
Yeah.
Lucky he's
in
not
their
at the
side,
Giants because Riccardi's got one of the wings. It's hard to get that one.
Yep. What's next?
Well, there's 2 wings, so you
that
can play on
is
the other
true.
one.
Yeah, but it's 50% chance. Just on that, I think that, I'm excited for Geelong. Big number movements there as well. I'll tease that for the next episode. Make sure you tune in. Barras finally gets to the Hawks.
Yep.
So
They gave up a bit for that.
they gave up a future first round pick.
Future second, a future third.
Yeah.
And got back a future fourth.
Yeah. It's a lot for I reckon Barras is a star, but he's also like nearly 30.
Yeah. Well, they're in it for the now, aren't they, the Hawks? Like, they're having a red-hot crack. I was really concerned. Last Friday, I reckon the Hawks were just like, can't be buggered with this. We're just going to pull the trigger and give away their pick to Carlton, and then Carlton did whatever they did to get down to pick 3.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's going to ruffle a few feathers in terms of Barras getting to Hawthorn.
Would that ruffle, the list managers and all? Is there? It's not all
Well,
happy
so
families
Nick
between-
Austin, who's at Carlton, worked with Matty Clark, who was at Richmond.
There you go.
And they were all doing, and Clarkey obviously was at Richmond under Blair, and all 3 of them were in the Baker, Barras, Carlton getting picked 3.
Brett, that's great insight. That is great. That's really
So
good
that's what
insight.
everyone was like. People who know that were like,
Yeah.
oh, a bit of back scratching going on here. You look up, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
good.
So just to repeat that, because you sort of said that like it wasn't interesting.
Well, I reckon he was still going with it, but then
I jumped in, did I?
So, go on, Brett.
no, well,
No,
you want me to repeat
I
what
think
I
it's
just
a lot
said?
more interesting than you're giving it credit to because go
Well,
again.
Okay,
is what I'm
well,
saying.
Blair Hartley is the head list manager and has been for a number of years
At
at Richmond. Put all together their list that won all their flags. Nick Austin came in under Blair. Initially was Oppo analysis, then went into, I think, a bit of recruiting, then went over to the Dogs, left the Dogs, and then got the head list role at the Blues. Matty Clark was head recruiter at Richmond, left, got the head job at West Coast, head list management job, and ended up, all those three clubs were intertwined in terms of that deal that went down.
It's a great insight. Nick Austin too, ripping guy. He's actually married to Georgie Austin. This is interesting.
We wouldn't have married his sister.
Sorry. He's not married to Georgie Austin. Is Georgie Austin's sister. Their dad is actually Curly Austin, used to play for Carlton.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not married to his sister. Just to confirm that. That is not the case.
He's one of the great men, Nick Austin.
He's a great guy, a ripping guy. So I think he's come out of this, nearly everyone's saying he's looking like the biggest guru out of the lot. So
well, to get into
see
pick
what
3,
happens.
he's bloody good, and they've always said that they wanted to either hold 12, because that's what they were saying. Well, why don't you go after Houston, give that 12 up, get Houston into the club? They're like, no, we love the draft. We're going to set the club up for 10 years, not just for the here and now.
Good on him. It must just be such a hard period. Like, I couldn't be a list manager because I just want to fucking tell everyone what's going on.
100%,
These guys just sit there and they just keep it all to
And
themselves.
even at clubland, like that room and that they're very discreet. And the blinds go down and
So
Wankers sometimes.
they can be. Your man Will Thursfield. What are you doing, Will?
So Will and Brady, is it Brady?
Yeah, Brady.
They weren't telling you about Jacob Costanti coming in with
that
Parks
one.
yesterday?
Well, I was actually in there yesterday and saw him, and I was like, well.
Oh, you saw Costanti in the club? Oh, where'd he park?
No, I actually know where he parked, because as I walked out, he was in the car on the phone. Somehow.
On the phone?
He got...
A1.
I always think this, right? You remember, the show Deal or No Deal?
Yes.
I play that every day on the way into the club. There's a $200,000 briefcase park, which is straight out the front of the club.
Yeah.
Never got it. I've never got it. But you're like, look for it every day, and I can't get it, damn it. And then you kind of keep going. Like, can I get 100,000s? Nah, they're all taken. You usually end up out the back in the
$5.
in the $100 section.
At the Royal Women's.
Jacob had the $200,000.
Wow.
So I
Jeez,
reckon they've
it's
coned
all
it up.
downhill from there for him. He's never going to get that again. That sucks.
He had a big smile on his face.
Good on him.
I'll
Good
look
on
forward
him.
to the number that he gets.
Well, I'll tell you tomorrow in the next. Sorry, no, we're doing it today. I'm telling you after this.
Sweet.
Luke Parker as well.
Yep.
Parker out the front.
Yep.
Luke Parker out the front.
Yeah, gotcha.
Luke Parker in the $200,000 briefcase.
Nah, I didn't see him in the park. But
Moving
good to
on.
have Luke on.
Good,
on
good
board.
pick as well. You only gave up 44 for that. A lot of experience coming through.
Two players. Yep.
I love this one as well. I actually think this could be a really big pick for you guys. Daniel coming for pick 25, which is quite a high pick, but I think he's what you needed.
Hey, on all that, like it's you got to weigh it all up. Is there? You probably the
Hey,
person.
I don't know who the fuck was 25 last year. Who gives a shit?
Well, we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But no, he'll be important. I think North's strategy, and it's been pretty public with it,
Yeah.
bring in some experience, brought in 3 premiership players, plus Costanti. So, Brett,
Yes.
Let me just tell you who was picked 25 last year. I'll give you 24, 25, 26 just to give more of a...
26 is a good player.
Yeah, Will Graham
Yeah.
was 26. Harry Demadia from Collingwood's 25, and Caden Cleary 24.
Cleary was an emergency for their grand final side. I reckon. So
Yeah, he's played a couple of games. He was actually good late in the year for Sydney, I reckon. Good little player.
Do clubs
Dimoteo hasn't played.
Do clubs kind of keep checks and balances? If a club does a deal early in the trade period, like we kind of feel like we're in credit here, and then they can give up like a Like again, people probably
I know
looking
what
at
you
the Caleb Daniel thing saying, "Oh, they've gone overs." And,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like North, we wanted that.
player
So
him.
to us, it's like that's
Yeah.
the value we place on it. Whereas other clubs will be looking at it going, nah.
Well, it's almost like the West Coast one, right? Like they got
Chad Warner
Baker in, and Chad Warner's next year. They got Baker in
Jack Graham.
and Jack Graham, and they gave up 3. But then with Barras, it's like they got probably a lot more than they should have on that. So
Yeah,
they
I
have,
think Gold Coast is probably the perfect example of all that, because they had pick 6 that gave that up. And 13, 6 and 13. Yeah, they gave them both up to slide right back to get points, because they got Leo Lombard coming in, and they know they've got one who's potential number 1 draft pick next year, and another one who might be a potential top
So
20.
they're playing with house money, Brett.
Well, they don't. Yeah, in terms of where their list is at, like you can understand, everyone's like, oh my God, too much for Dan Rioli. Pick 6, you're kidding, are you? 6 and 23, it's ridiculous. Well, they didn't need that pick 6 for this year because they got Leo Lombard, who's in and around that mark anyway. Probably not pick 6, but in and around there. And then next year, they've got 2 more spots that they have to try and bring in with Zeke Euland, who's going to be an absolute star.
Is he brother of?
Brother of Bodie, yeah. And then there's another kid coming through. So, mate, there's...
Have you seen Point Break?
Yeah, but...
Bodie!
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, apologies.
Anyway.
Peddling into the Crows.
Yep.
Love that. Love that for him. Not much to go
I hope
off
that
there.
he can show that, he can, because he's a good player in a good side.
Yep.
I hope that he can come into a side and still play at the level.
Yep.
That's
He'll
what.
play midfield.
Well, he was playing that at the Giants, like mixing
He's
it up.
playing
And
like that high
tough
forward,
little bugger.
bit
For,
Yeah, he's tough.
he's got some
wing,
zip, kicks goals.
bit of wing,
Half
bit
forward.
of mid, half forward, bit of half back even. He actually can go anywhere.
So the wing squeeze was on at the Giants.
Exactly right. Yeah,
That's probably the speed that they're lacking,
Yep.
if we're being completely honest.
Rioli to the Suns you just mentioned.
Yep.
We've got Bolton joining the Dockers, which is massive for them. You think about their midfield next year with Brayshaw, Sarong, Bolton, Hayden Young,
Yeah.
Luke Jackson. It's pretty nice.
So the Freo...
You reckon that's the best list that they've seen?
Frist.
Best list.
I don't know how those names saddle up next to kind of players like Jay Van Burlo and Clancy Pearce
And
Clangy.
and Clayton Hinkley.
Clayton Hinkley, yeah, they had great depth. Great depth.
I'm hearing the names, but I'm waiting to see some results.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
and hopefully these guys don't get blindsided like
hopefully.
Clayton did.
Well, I think Brayshaw, Sarong, Young, Nilly have got some runs on the board. Like I think
they do.
they're starting to suggest that they're bona fides.
This would be you would. I think you two may agree, but you can have your own side on it, line of sight. And to answer your question, I think this is the best list in terms of talent, positional, and experience that they've had for some time.
Yeah.
Obviously, get Jake Treacy fit and available for the start of next
What do
year.
they call him? The Yabby?
Do they?
The King Kahuna.
The King Kahuna.
The big Kahuna.
The big Kahuna.
Why is that? Why is it?
Kahuna's where I'm from. Well, not where I'm from, but in the same footy league.
There you go.
Swan Hill.
So you're not from
the
there?
same region.
Yeah.
There you
How
go.
far
Area.
is
It's good to know.
Kahuna from Swan Hill?
I think it's like
It's around the
just under
corner.
an hour.
Yeah, around
it's
the
like
corner.
In our league, it's like
So
the further
if you need milk, you don't have any milk at your house,
Mate,
you can go to Jake Treacy's house.
We are all
would
country
never.
boys here, and as we know, an hour is around the corner in the country, which is good. Do you reckon Bolton and Young and Sarong and Brayshaw and Luke Jackson got a little group going at the moment?
Maybe.
Going, hey,
Get
oi,
trained
oi,
together.
oi. Hit to 4-4. Get it out of here. You reckon? I'll come off the back.
So
reckon?
off the back of the
Yeah.
can't come off the back.
You
anymore.
can, if from
You
a
can.
half-back,
But back to your point, that was we've said this a couple of times. They were second on the ladder, 3 or 4 rounds ago in the season.
Yeah.
They lost
Injuries.
Alex Pearce and Tracy. They bring in Bolton, who's going to be a fairly important player in their front half. Gives them a little bit of zip and dash. So big watch on them.
Yeah, it's a really hard one, Fremantle at the moment.
And they've still got pick 14 too. They'll get a good player there, and 30.
Yeah, there's not many numbers available though. Jumper numbers.
I'm quite
in
close to
my
this guy, so I'll reserve my. Actually, I'll give you my thoughts after you two. Will Nat Fyfe get a game for the Dockers next year if they're fully fit?
That would actually help me a bit because if he was to retire, the 7 would be available, and then I could put Bolton in the 7. That would actually help me a lot. If he, I'm not saying retire, but I'm saying it would help me.
So, I don't think he is in their best 22, 23.
Dylan?
No, he's probably not. No, he's probably not.
Let's play 26.
Well, I'll ask if we can play some more. Yeah, definitely. It's a hard one, isn't it? Like, it's one of the game's absolute greats, but I think there's one thing that I've learned in football and in life. When someone's done to the level that Fyfe has, and you got your Dustin Martins, and they're probably the 2 that are relevant right now because we're speaking about this year, you can never ride those guys off. Never.
Nah.
Is it unlikely? Probably.
But because of
it is.
where you've been, you can overrate and probably think you're going better than what you have. And I'll be right because I'm a good player and I'll get there. Whereas the game catches up with you and the speed of the game, you just can't keep doing the things that you used to be able to do.
Definitely. That's why you look at Chris Judd and what he was able to do when he changed his game, with the outside mid. Then he comes to Carlton, a bit more banged up with the groins back when OP was a thing, and was able to adapt. I suppose, can Fyfe do that? Can he go play forward? can he
He's
go?
already tried it.
But he was a bit banged up.
He
wasn't
was bad. He's actually been banged up for a while. I think he still plays 12 to 14 games. He'll get managed a fair bit throughout the year. I reckon he'll be the sub a fair bit.
Yeah.
It's
a bit
like
of
right
experience.
now, at their best, when their best 22 comes out, which people will probably do those articles today, it'll be interesting to see if they
Travis
have him in
Boak?
there. Travis Boak still plays in the Port's best side.
Just on
Because
that.
he's gone to a wing.
Yeah, true.
There you go. Lucky Riccardi's not there. Is there a chance that there's still actually some of those older players in the competition at the moment that after trade period gets done, decisions get made?
There's still plenty of guys in
Yeah,
limbo.
still heaps.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Throws us
They
back
have
in the
to-
works for that. Just thinking about my next episode. There might be a part 2 of that when the list is actually fully set.
That's a fair while away.
We can do an emergency one, come back
We'll
in.
do that.
Obviously.
I really don't know much about this kid, but I actually like this by Melbourne, getting him in. Harry Sharp. I love targeting the
about him.
premiers of the year before and who couldn't get in. What's he like, Brett?
One of the best runner in the AFL.
Yeah, didn't he break the 2K record?
Yeah. Just used to run Lake Wendouree for fun. You know where that is? Ballarat, around there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I was born just down the road at St John's.
Yeah, he's a freak runner, can run all day.
Slapped
ran
on
a
the arse and fucking straight into it.
5:25.
They said, welcome to the
2K.
world, brother. I
Keep
said,
going.
thanks, mate. See you later.
Oh, you know about Harry Sharp. You go, tell us all.
I thought we were talking about me and getting
I
bored.
was so confused. Who's slapping who on the arse?
The doctors just said, mate, go and get it. I said, yeah, catch ya. See, brother, go and take it over. Anyway, Harry Sharp, so he was running around the oval.
Tell us about Harry Sharp.
Yeah. Good player. Anyway, we'll play on the wing, guaranteed. Yeah. Him and Ed Langdon.
Ed Langdon just wing.
Yeah. They've sacked Lockie Hunter. Well, Lockie Hunter retired. Sorry.
What's happened with poor bloody Rivers? Is he, because if Petrarca, Oliver
Come back fully
they're in the
fit,
mid
ready
and
to
then
go.
those two on the wings.
So same discussion.
Where
that
is
we've just
Trent
had with
Rivers going?
Nat 5, now Trent Rivers. And Brad Green did say at the best and fairest. Wasn't much wiggle room there.
I don't think Brad Green actually said the name properly. He was doing a bit of me on the wing. I don't think he even said.
What do you call Petrarca?
Either Patricky or I don't know what it was.
Petrarca?
I'm not sure what it was.
Now, Trent Rivers will play.
No, he's a star.
He'll play
He
bit
was-
of mid, bit of halfback.
Trent Rivers actually messaged me after that on Instagram about the clip, and he goes, "It's exactly what went through my mind." He's like, "Thought I had a pretty good year." Very good. Houston Apai and Lukosius to Port. I like these picks. They're pretty cool. Houston
Perriman to Pies as well.
Perriman as well is a big one, but yeah, be big. And then Noble over to Collingwood. I'm happy with that.
Over to Gold Coast from Collingwood.
Apologies to Gold Coast from Collingwood.
Yeah, adds what they were after. The Suns was some speed off halfback, so they get two guys who've got a fair bit of zip in Noble and
do, don't they?
in Rioli.
So the
Fair bit of sunscreen for Noble up there.
Him and Rowley will be fighting over it.
It's going to have to be SPF 90.
yeah, the
on there.
visors and the Oakley Sunnies will be out. In
The long sleeves. You know, they all train with the skins long sleeve tops on.
in the summer.
It is
Because
smart.
they're cool. They when they sweat those ones.
Yeah.
The water from your sweat cools you.
Mate,
Yeah,
sun's dangerous too, in all seriousness. So we want to look after ourselves. But good on them.
The Gold Coast, Nick, like I can popping out of this trade period
Yeah.
and all this player movement. I reckon the most pressure or the most expectation goes on to Freo and the Gold Coast.
In terms of performance next
Well,
year.
yeah, I think it's.
I think Adelaide would have to be nearly in that basket as well.
Yeah, they got pick 4 too. So
Yeah, Adelaide. Not for me. I reckon Gold Coast and Freo. Look
can I
good.
say something about Adelaide?
Sure.
You know who gets a bad rap? Essendon, right? And probably deservingly so. Bear with me on this. Okay.
Okay.
Again,
Bobby
pretend
Rich.
Richo's talking about this.
Okay.
Actually, Richo was telling me about this. the other day.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, this is Richo's thing.
Yeah.
Richmond get
Thursday
a bad
nights.
rap of being this arrogant club that probably think they're better than they are. And I think it's probably, they've realised now, culture shift, it's changing.
Yep.
I think Adelaide think they're better than what they are. I think they need to go, hey, you know what? We're actually pretty shit.
Well, Adelaide, you keep going.
No, I love Adelaide. I love Adelaide. I'm talking
don't
about
stop him.
the footy club.
Yeah.
Like,
They're a big club.
What the fuck have you done? We walking around patting each other on the fucking back. What have you done? Fucking diddly squat. You've done nothing. So, you've done the power stance.
They
That's
went-
about it.
2012, they went to a prelim, I reckon.
Yeah, good on them. What since then? Nothing.
So since power stance, you're saying. What are they?
I said diddly squat.
So what are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say,
Oh, so you're saying Essendon gets the bad run because they haven't won a final for
I think
20
like
years.
Adelaide are the Essendon of Adelaide. And they need to
Adelaide have
fire
had
up.
a few chances. I reckon they were pretty good in the 10s.
Yeah.
They had a crack in the teens.
Yeah. But I think they think, oh, we're Adelaide, we're better than Port. Are you, though? I don't think you fucking are.
Wow.
I think the pair
Port
can
have
go
been
right up you.
They've been pretty good the last 7 of the last 10 years or something. I think
Just
I
to
heard.
re-clarify, you love Adelaide.
I love Adelaide.
Yeah.
Like the city.
Yeah.
I love the club as well, but I'm just saying, have a fucking good look at yourself this year.
Yeah.
Before you start throwing that
The old
shit
mirror
around, you know what I mean?
tells no lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they finish this year?
Don't know.
No, 15th.
Not sure. Not sure. I had them 4th this year, just in my ladder. So I'm disappointed in them because they could be better.
That's why I think they're up there with Freo and Gold Coast in terms of needing to perform this year.
Anyway, I think that's fair enough. I think that there was a bit of a joke in that, but I think they do think they're a little bit better than what they are.
We'll make sure we clip that one up so it's
Send it to the
no joke.
Send
It's
it
all serious.
Send it to the
All him too.
Adelaide
the
FC.
Tizer.
Because I've got to deal with these clubs, so I'll have no part of that. That's you.
Hey, we love Huey Bond
Yeah,
because
no,
he's
we-
the one that brings him. He brings him his
grunt.
humility and grunt.
Yeah. Good character.
Good gratitude.
Good country boy.
Yeah,
More
good
of that.
country. He's a
and
Bella
Peatling and
Bella.
Peatling and coming in.
Couple of country boys.
Couple of great people.
Yeah.
Not all the players are good. I'm just saying. It's when I talk about these things too. It's more the higher ups, the board, and those.
Roo.
Oh, what are you saying about
Maybe I
Roo?
should-
He'll come after
maybe
you.
Yeah.
I actually like Roo. Met him at Gather Round. Actually, I'll
I'm
take
not
it
sure
back.
you're going to be
I'll take
welcome
it
back to
I'll
Gather
take it
Round
back.
next year.
Let's move on. Blues land pick 3, as we spoke about this before. Huge one with the scratching of the backs of the old Lids' mates. And
No, mate, I'm not suggesting that. I said other people were suggesting that. I said this is how they're all intertwined, though, because they've all come under Blair and then moved there around. It's a bit like the under Clarko and where all his assistants have gone
again,
on to win.
tongue in cheek. You're right. I think that's a big one. I think people there's such an ego thing with trades where like you look at that trade and you're like, if you look at them all individually of what they give up and what they get back, you're like, that's good. But then you look at it and you go, maybe West Coast did get a little bit fucked, if that makes sense. But if they're happy with what they got,
Yeah,
good
because
on
they've
them.
given context,
Yeah.
and you know what they're lining up for next year.
I enjoyed that from John Pye. He kind of came out and said, look, it does.
Yeah,
Probably
in isolation,
Yeah, it doesn't
looks
paint us in the greatest light in terms of what we've given up here, but we made the commitment. I love they've been very, and that's how West Coast are. They're very loyal, and we've made a commitment to Liam Baker, and we had to get that done. Maybe we had to compromise a little bit. Again, all this trade stuff. Next year, they'll pop out with a great draft hand, and maybe.
but no salary cap space because they've given up $4
true.
million.
But they
Yeah,
will
they've
need
got-
young
they've got
players on minimums.
Warner on 15 coming in too.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
they're posturing or positioning themselves next year
No.
largely for that as well, by the looks of things.
great stuff. And that's great insight. We'll go to that 20. You had a really good idea. It's not mine, Brett. It was Mick's idea about coming back.
Again, I went through Richo.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
For who actually,
In
they
2019?
said in 2019 who won and who lost.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Right.
I'll bring you that later. A couple of little pick swaps. Who cares? Who cares about that? Who cares about that? No one cares. Just looking through these last ones. Graham got there. Darling, obviously, he got there to North. Good on him.
That was all very early, wasn't
Neil
it?
Bullen,
Yeah,
very
first
early. Cheese got there. That's about it. Oh, how's this? Tom Campbell to the D's.
The
Fucking
that was the
fantastic.
first-
His fourth club.
First,
Fourth club. And guess what? Ben Brown's retired.
Yeah.
the big 5-0.
He's going to the 50.
a few
Can you
50s
DM
retired.
him so he gets into the...
I will.
A few 50s retired. Marlon Pickett.
Marlon Pickett.
So a 50 is opened up there at Richmond. They'll have all these young players. Brett, remember when... Were you part of the regime when draftees came in and they had to wear like...
That was Dimmer from Clarko because
Yeah.
the Hawks boys had the same
Yeah.
thing.
Not when you got there,
Not
though,
when
Brett.
you got
Straight in
there.
the 3.
Straight in the 3,
Yeah.
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 Duncan Callaway just retired, so I was lucky and pumped with it.
But-
Still am.
Did he
Apparently Duncan
pass?
wanted to go on for an extra year, but Brett said... Went into list management, said he's got to go.
See Duncan.
Not sure that's possible. Yeah.
See Duncan.
The decision's probably already...
How was Duncan? How many years was he there for? Duncan
I think
Callaway.
he played 170 odd, maybe 180. I'm not sure,
You added a little bit more class to the number than Duncan.
but way more toughness before I got in there.
Yeah.
but
But
more
polish?
tough, but
Old
more
boots.
class.
Polish, appeal.
I'm not buying into this
Marketability?
conversation,
More
boys.
class.
I'm not
Okay,
buying
fine,
into
so-
it.
But then you'd say Presti's probably gone and taken it to the next level, would you say?
Oh, well...
He goes, I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying I'm not buying into it. Oh, you bought into it.
That was a lay down the
that was
lay
a good
down
one.
the
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Battle goes, Elliot Himmelberg goes, and that's about it.
That was good.
Good on you. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, let me take you through, as we were talking before, because we like to do some things that no one else does here. Let's go through the top 2019. I'm going to go through the top 3 who won and the top 3 who they said lost.
Right.
Those
This is good stuff.
in 2019.
Good research from you.
Yeah. So in 2019, 5 years ago, St Kilda won the trade period.
The trade.
Yeah.
Yep.
Second was West Coast.
Okay.
They won. They came second in 5 years.
Trade periods. Within 5 years, you should be.
So based on
good.
success.
And just a reminder, in 2019, West Coast had won the
premiership.
flag in 2018.
Yeah.
Western Bulldogs came third in the trade period.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just go through and I'll give you a little bit of a rundown.
Doggies go to
of
a grand final in
what happened.
2021.
Yep. So
Been
that
pretty
one,
good since.
That one you'd say was pretty good.
Competitive.
So St Kilda brought in Dan Butler,
Yep.
Bradley Hill, Dougal Howard, Zach Jones, Paddy Ryder, and some late picks.
Yeah.
Out went Blake Acres.
Oh, he's become a pretty good player.
He went to Freo first, and then he's come back to the Baggers.
Josh Bruce went out. Jack Stephen went out. Pick 6 went out.
Who was that? Oh, we haven't got
We
that
have
far.
to. Can we look that up? Pick 6 in 2019 draft. Oh, actually, I've got it. Pick 6 in 2019 draft was Fisher McCasey.
Maxey. Yeah. Went to Adelaide.
McCasey?
Maxey.
Sorry. Well, you don't know who they would have picked in that pick, but that's who went there. So they can probably say that was okay because he's not playing anymore. Interesting though. Which is
So they kind of brought in some pretty good players that have just been honest players. Really,
honest players. They didn't do much.
Well, Bradley Hill's been.
He's been very good.
Yeah.
Very good for a long time, Bradley Hill. West Coast brought in Tim Kelly. Pick 46, 91. So one player really.
Yeah.
To add to what you
But they
think
gave
would be
away.
They gave away 3 first rounders.
Given
Yeah,
them a second
so that's what
to
we'll
bring
get
in
to.
Tim Kelly.
To get Tim Kelly in, they gave pick 14, 24, and 33. So let me read out who they were.
First rounders, yeah.
14 was Miles Bergman.
Good player. Really good player.
24 was Harry Schoenberg.
Schoenberg, who's at Adelaide.
Schoenberg is at Adelaide. And what was the other one? It was 33, which was Brock Smith. Never heard of. But guess who was 32 and 31?
That doesn't matter.
Chad Warner?
It doesn't matter because I wouldn't have got him, but I just to let you know, Charlie Cobden was 31 and Trent Rivers was 32.
Trent, that's friends of the show.
He would be playing midfield there. I guarantee he would be getting in the midfield. And guess who was 39?
Chad Wingard.
Chad
Warner, sorry.
Chad Warner.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I've asked a couple of recruiters about that and how he slid that far, but apparently his game has completely
come that much
transformed.
further.
Yeah. He can actually kick it.
Third place that won it was Josh Bruce in at the Bulldogs, Alex Keith
From Adelaide.
and a couple of weird selections. Out was 32, 45, and 51. So nothing really happened, but that came third. Now let me give you the losers. I'll go 16th first. 16th was the Swans.
Really? What did they do?
Lewis Taylor came in and some low picks.
You're rising star, Louis Taylor.
Yep. Out was Darcy Cameron, Zach Jones, and some late picks. So they lost Darcy Cameron and Zach Jones, which, Darcy Cameron's gone on to become a really good player.
Ruckman, the position.
Ruckman, we don't care. 2019, they had pick 5. And that was Dylan Stevens.
He's now a Kanga.
He's now a kangaroo. So
Maybe they haven't really.
Just to give context as well, Hayden Young, Caleb Sarong were 7 and 8 in that draft. Tom Green also, but he was there. So Cozzy Pickett also. It's easy to go back. So that's interesting. Then number 17, 17th was Adelaide.
Yep.
Which is probably fair enough because they're arrogant. I'm joking. Not really. In was Billy Frampton, which is weird because now he's at Collingwood. So he's been at 3 clubs. They brought in some weird picks. Then out was Eddie Betts, went to the Blues.
Eddie Betts.
Cam Ellis-Yolman went to Brisbane. Hugh Greenwood went to Gold Coast.
Yep.
Then to North. Sam Jacobs went to the Giants. Josh Jenkins went to Geelong.
Gee whiz, they did lose a few.
Alex Keith went to
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. And a third-round pick.
So
But
they
then
must have got a lot of draft picks in that year.
yeah, they had pick 4 and 23, but then that pick 4 turned into a pick 6.
How much of that camp played a role in all those boys leaving?
I think that was a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
And then who lost the trade period?
Last. Who came last?
Any guesses?
That year. 18.
Pussycats.
No.
Oh, I'm just going to guess Hawthorn.
Carlton. So in
Max disappointed.
was
Just
Eddie
let's out a-
Betts
let's out a sign.
and Mark Pitnet.
Big Brad, still playing.
Yeah, good ruckman. And then out was Andrew Phillips and just some picks. So they just didn't do much, but they tried to get Papley and it didn't. It didn't happen.
Didn't eventuate.
And in 2019 they had the 9th pick, which they took.
I'm going to guess Brody Kemp.
Well, they didn't take anyone. Where did they? Oh, they did. They took 17, Brody Kemp. So I think they actually traded. From memory, I think they traded that 9 for the next year. Did they get something the next year?
They jumped back in to get
Grab your
Kemp.
mic there, mate.
Yeah, what did you
They jumped
get?
back in to get Kemp.
Yeah, I reckon we got 2 picks, didn't we? We got
17 and something else.
and like 19, like two right. I remember they like right.
Who's
next
after
to each
Kemp?
other.
So Kemp,
Philp, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
after Kemp was Sam Philp.
Phil.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you got Kemp. We got Kemp at 17 and Philp at 20. And the 2 picks in between those two, Georgiadis and Sam DeConing.
Well, Brody Kemp had a chance to go to the Saints, I think, but decided to stay.
What did since that who's been the best side since 2019 trade period and draft? In the last 5 years, who's been the best team?
In the draft.
Richmond were pretty...
They
They were
you mean
19,
like-
they were 19-20.
1920. Yeah, in the
21
last
So
was
do you
the-
want to say where they finished?
21 was the D's. 22 was the Cats. 23 was the Pies.
So I'll tell you what, it's really interesting
Cats
what
would
the
have
Cats
never missed
did.
finals in that time.
Yeah, but look how bad this was for the Cats. And this is why
23.
we we always say how good the Cats are, but look what they brought in this year, okay? Out was Tim Kelly, Zach Smith. In, Josh Jenkins, Jack Stephen, pick number 14.
Yeah, what did they do with the Tim Kelly picks?
So in pick 14...
We went through that, didn't we?
No, because they've pushed, but they must have...
Who'd they draft?
In that year?
Yeah, who'd they draft in that year? In the next 2 years? Because it all gets kind of smoothed out over 2 years.
In the next 2 years, they got Francis Evans,
Who's now at Port.
who's now at Port. They got Sam DeConing, pretty bloody good.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Stevens,
Gone. Finished.
gone.
Yeah.
So he was picked before Sam DeConing,
He went to Hawthorn and then now she's finished, I think.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And then what was the other team that was best in that year? Richmond, would you say?
Richmond, well, they traded away theirs to get Hopper Taranto in that 5 years.
Yeah. Anyway, it's really interesting. It's so fun. Like Johnny Patton went to Hawks that year.
Yeah.
Blake Acres went to Fremantle
Skulls?
that year.
Oh, no, Skulls was already at Hawks, wasn't he? Or was he that year as well?
There was that year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Matt Crouch went to
we're
Saints.
sort of
Anyway,
just-
there's plenty there. We're just baffling. Wait, we don't waffle.
No,
we
we
don't
don't.
like waffle.
To your thoughts on trade period and that. don't
Thank
you?
you. No, I appreciate it. Hey, I think that's just
a
about
wrap.
it for this episode. As we said, we've got the next one coming out, which is really important. So I think
Is it kind of mini form?
it could be here for a while.
Oh, Jesus. Righto, let's go.
Thanks, guys. Give us a review. Jump on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, and make sure you check out the new verbatim hoodies.
The
I
good
think there's
hoodie.
literally not many left. They've gone absolutely bonkers. Maybe get the Dyl Friends ones, guys, because when you get the verbatim ones, they're going really well. But check it out. We'll have the link in the show notes. IllyXX, thanks for your time.